Hello, we've got an extremely cool, extremely high level tournament battle for you here. You can see it's a little bit of a special one. Xerneas on this side, Garchomp on the other. This is Melsmew versus Pauli in Clash of the Titans rule set. All Pokemon on the team had to be a base stat total of 570 or higher. So, lots of very strong Pokemon here. And let's see how it goes. So, of course, Melsmew forced to switch out, but switches into something that is also weak to Fairy. Very unfortunate turn one for Melsmew, but switches into a very strong looking Kartana that will, you would think, force out the Xerneas. Look at how much damage that Leaf Blade crit does. Actually kind of insane. That looks like stab super effective, but it's just the stab there. Switches over to Magnitude to finish off the Xerneas and even things up a little bit. 5 Pokemon on both sides here. Garchomp coming in, and Melsmew will decide to save it by switching into their own Garchomp. Now we've got Garchomp versus Garchomp, but Pauli's Garchomp is faster, so looking a little bit dangerous for Melsmew here. Lives the Dragon Claw, goes for Dragon Tail and misses. A really painful turn there. That would have done a lot of damage and kept things even. But unfortunately missing that. Melsmew getting in Xerneas here. Nature's Madness taking a half health from the Celebi, and Melsmew takes the opportunity to bring in Latios. So this Latios is very, very special, as you can see from this turn here, going for Belly Drum, Pauli using Teeter Dance. So the Latios is set up at +6 attack, and it looks like it's in a good spot to do some damage, but unfortunately Pauli's Celebi does have Shadow Sneak, the perfect answer at the perfect time. Goes pretty well for Pauli there. Pretty unfortunate for Melsmew. Melsmew is not out of it yet. Brings Kartana back in and will take out the Oh, not quite. Almost taking out the Celebi with that Steel Wing. Kartana has just so much damage available. We'll finish it off with this one here though. And the Celebi will no longer be sneaking in the shadows. Garchomp coming back to try and get this Kartana finished off. But Melsmew going into Xerneas here. I believe this is a pretty defensive Xerneas. Takes another half health Nature's Madness. So Pauli's Pokemon are now pretty low on health. Lots of them at half. And yes, we can see here Xerneas is in fact Moonlight Nature's Madness for both of the fairy moves. So no super effective or no stab offensive fairy moves here to do damage with, but it will stay alive quite a lot. Garchomp switching on the Spark, which is nice, but at the same time you are still going to be slower, so the Garchomp goes down here to the Koko, but the Koko is super low, so as long as Melsmew has something that can do damage that's faster, it'll kill. Brings in Kartana, but the Kartana is slower, but it doesn't matter because it's tanky. Gets paralyzed. Super unfortunate there as well. If this Kartana was not paralyzed, it would be a much bigger threat. But I mean, it probably would have been able to hit this Garchomp at least once. Instead, it's just going to die here. Melsmew running out of sacks. Maybe could have gone Xerneas, but it would have been a little bit dangerous because Pauli could have gone for a ground move there. Goes for the ground move here, and we can see it does a pretty nice chunk of damage there. So it's going to be a little bit hard to heal through that. Might see another Nature's Madness. Pauli switching over to Hyper Fang here. There's that Nature's Madness. But again, there is no stab damage move. There's no fairy like Moonblast or anything. So the Garchomp won't be dying for a while. Melsmew is still trying to heal through this damage. Of course, Pauli switched to Hyper Fang. Didn't want to miss the Bone Club, but Hyper Fang will be doing less damage. It does have a chance to crit, which Melsmew has been getting through, and we see a Body Slam available as the normal move. So the Xerneas does have a way of hitting the Garchomp, but won't be doing too much. But again, without the flinches, the Xerneas does look like it's in position to beat the Garchomp, and it does, which is nice for Melsmew. very necessary to stay in this game. Here's Dragapult now. And again, Xerneas versus Dragapult should be so good, and it's not bad, but it's not ideal either. Here's Tyranitar getting off a poison powder against Suicune. So we can see this end game coming together here of what's available. Suicune here for Pauli will be beaten by the healing Xerneas now that the Suicune is poisoned, and the Dragapult can get beat by the Tyranitar. But of course, the opposite is also true, that those beat each other in the opposite way. Goes for Body Slam, doesn't quite die to the Aqua Tail. Pauli switches into Dragapult as the Xerneas heals back to half. I think it's out of Moonlights entirely now. Mel going for Nature's Madness, and now Pauli's starting to run low on health, but Mel also low on health here. Mel will go down to the next Shadow Bone, but switches into Tyranitar to kind of eat that up. Gets a crit, a little bit of unluckiness on Melsmew's side overall, I'd say. And then Grass Knot, of all things, right when it was about to look like Melsmew was going to be able to turn this battle around, that Grass Knot as the coverage is the thing that ends up making the Dragapult be able to defeat the Tyranitar. If it was not, then the Tyranitar would have been in a position to kill the Dragapult, and then the Dragapult, with the Dragapult down, now the Xerneas would have been able to beat the Suicune. But because of that nice coverage at the end there, Pauli will be taking that one. GG.